Welcome back to Adventure and Pete. It's great to see you came back. So, today we're talking about the next phase of the RV bedroom remodel. We're going to start working on the headboard. So, if this is your first time here, make sure you like the video, comment, tell us what else you want to hear about, tell us what you think about the video. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. We got a lot of great content coming. We already got a lot of great content already on the page, so please check it out. So, we got a board up there. What we originally did was we made a sketch of a headboard dimensions and things like that we needed. So this is what I came up with for what I need. Went out and purchased some boards. Yes, it's on a paper plate. It was convenient at the time, so it works out for us. So my first board I'm going to do is for the main riser to the headboard, and it's going to have a piece coming back as a shelf. So this is obviously too long, but what I'm going to start with is down here at the very end. It doesn't meet up to the wall very nicely, so we're going to end up making a cut to give it a little chamfer to it and actually make it follow the front wall. So it should look a little nicer, and I'll show you how to do that here real quick. So what I've got is I've got this clamp here just holding this board temporarily in place. And I've got my screwdriver. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my screwdriver up against the wall, take my pen and hold it there. I'm going to go up the wall, and that will give me my arch. I will lose some excess along the board, but that is a quick and efficient way of getting an exact profile of what I need without having to just kind of sketch and do a lot of trial and error. So just like that, that's the profile that I need. Simple as that. And we'll go and cut it out and match it up again to verify and see what it does or what it looks like. So now with the board cut for that radius up there in the corner, we can look at my very crude drawing right here. This is a sideways view of it. So we just cut the front edge of that vertical section. So now we got the bottom piece right here that we're working on. That is this board right here. I did notch it out right here for that wire harness to go in there, because the wire harness will actually be in this cavity right here, and there'll be a top plate right there, so I actually have a shelf and an empty cavity in case I need to run other wires and other things in the future. So now we're working on the base. I have already cut the base to length, and I took a random piece of aluminum that I had laying around the garage and drilled some holes in it. I got one screw in it for now. What this is going to be doing is we're going to use this to go underneath. So now we got this on there. We're going to set that depth, and we're going to screw it into the very edge of the wall, so that way it has something to sit on. We're going to make sure it's level and straight all the way across, and that way once that's in there, we can set the outside dimension here, put a bracket on the bottom to support it here, and that will give us a baseline to work with as we build up with the bed from there. So that's where we're at the moment. So what I've got here is that lower base initially clamped in. I have a board run across the back wall to give me a straight edge to make sure that that attachment to the wall, because it ends right about there, and there's a gap up to here. I want to make sure that is fully supported all the way across. So when I screw that L bracket into the wall right there, it is fully supported at the proper height, so we're not too low or too high and cause some waves and things like that. So I have a board used as a straight edge, clamps on that side, clamps on that side to make sure it's straight, and then I have a clamp holding this board on and a clamp right here to make sure it's straight as well. So screwed it in right there. So now at least have a back corner set. So the next thing is we're going to set this corner to make sure it's the proper height, then keep building out the rest of the headboard. So here we got the front side, similar concept as the back side. Board all the way across, screwed on there, or clamped on there, just so it's held in place. To make sure it's straight while it hangs off the edge here. That side's right there. What we did is we took some just flat aluminum angle iron that we got, drilled a bunch of holes down the side, because the idea is right here with our design schematic, that angle iron goes on the bottom of here, and then we'll put an angle iron on the bottom of that shelf as well to make sure they're fully supported when they're up against the wall, and that also will hold it up against the wall. And this vertical piece will tie the top and bottom together. So you can see we already have it just screwed into place for now, just as a holder. So we can pull this board back off afterwards and then paint and screw everything together. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the vertical height of the shelf and put that angle iron to the wall so we have our reference point. So when we build this shelf, it's ready to go and just screw right on the wall and be done. So I got this angle iron set against the wall here. So between from this surface of the lower end of the shelf to the very top of this, it's 5.5 inches, just because we have the comm cable right there for the inverter controller. So that's why we have to have it that high. So that with this outer edge, that's going to be 7.25 inches. So between 5.5 plus 3/4, that makes it 7.25 or 6.25. That leaves us 1 inch of a little bit of a dip shelf on top of this headboard here. So that's just enough to keep cell phones and things like that all in the pocket, but not being too deep or things get lost. So this right here is a test fit of the headboard. Looks kind of similar to what we got drawn out here if you look at it from the side. So next thing to do is we're going to cap it on the end and then sand it, finish it, probably paint it, and finish it up. But that is a rough idea and a rough fitment of the headboard. And here we have, I end capped it with just an extra piece of board that I had left over. So just made it go all the way to the same height right here and just cut in a notch to match the bottom of the bed right here. The bed frame right there you can see, just so it supports. Nice and decorative, but simple and easy. And you can see the shelf. So that essentially is the headboard all wrapped up right there. Rough end. We obviously have to do the rest of the screws and paint it, but so far, so good. So right here we have a spare panel that we had. I just cut it to length, notched it right here to go underneath this right here so it'll fit. And the idea is we're gonna go behind here and stack up just like this. That'll overlay, we'll screw it across the face there, and then over here we'll screw it from behind so that way it attaches there and it creates support and it creates a seam all the way across. And that's how we're going to do this filler panel right there. There's obviously other ways. You can have it go straight, different things like that, but chose just to have it go at an angle. It'll look just fine. Alright, what I had done, just laying it on top of there, wasn't good enough for me. So what I did was I took it, drew a line up down the edge here as my guiding line, set the skill saw just to 1/4 inch. And you can see right there, I just took off that outer face wood. So now it actually butts up perfectly all the way down. And we have a nice seam transition. So that'll be how it looks. I'm happy with that. I think that looks very nice. And we're on a roll. So we've got here some bed support rails. Simply just took some 2x4s and marked out where all the notches are. To notch it out, put a radius on there just so it looks nice and decorative. Just to run the length of the bed, because in the center obviously there was no more supports underneath here, so we want to have something to keep it from bowing inwards. So just came up with something quick and easy. Screwed it through the bottom and the 3 center posts and screwed it through the top all the way down the line, and we're good to go. So now that the bed is all done, put together, we've got the headboard on there, everything is done with the base. Everything is pretty much good to go with this part of the phase. So, if you like the video, make sure to like it. Comment, tell us what you think, tell us what else you want to hear about, and subscribe. We got a lot more great content coming. We got a lot of great content already on the channel, so be sure to stay tuned and have a great adventure.